Hey guys, I'm here with Kimberly, and Kimberly joined my Unlimited Abundance Live, and I wanted to ask her a few questions about, what has happened on her journey, so that she could share with you. So, hey Kimberly, how's it going?
Oh, great. Thanks, Christy.
Inspire us. Tell us what happened for you when you made the decision to do Unlimited Abundance Live.
Well, let me just kind of go back a little bit. And
Okay.
I had heard you for the first time in 2011 when on a podcast, I think probably for Mind Valley. And you were talking about your 24 blocks to abundance. And I have been working on abundance. I've been trying to work on abundance. And then I heard you say there are 24 blocks. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to take me forever.
You're like, that's what
but
my
I,
problem is.
I was intrigued by that. And you started talking about one of the blocks. I'm driving in the car this whole time, just kind of, listening and driving. And you started talking about the fear of numbers as one of the blocks. And I had such an emotional reaction. I cried all the way home. And I was like, I didn't realize I didn't even know how to put words to that I had been afraid of numbers and things that had happened. And by the time I got home, I went up to my fax machine that I used for business, and I had the largest order I'd ever gotten before.
Wow.
So it was such a strong correlation from hearing you to the order. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I cleared something up here. And so I knew it worked. I knew that there was truth in what you were doing. So I went through and did the 24 blocks, and I enjoyed that. But then you talked about this Unlimited Abundance group, and I just knew it was going to be the kind of intensity that I would want to have, and to be with other people who are going through the same thing. But I was in the scarcity mindset. So I'm like, oh, can I really afford this or not? And so one of the things I learned from you was, put your hand on your heart, and if I do this program, will it bring me profit? And I got a yes. And for me, sometimes I'm like, did I really hear a yes, or was I just making it up? But I let that go and just went with it. And there's so much of a boost that you get with having the Facebook group and being able to have the monthly group clearings that we do, and you're still using the 24 blocks, the going through all of those. And just an incredibly enriching experience for me. Now, before, I would say, and especially now that my vision is clear, I would say I was really anxious about money. And there was always never seemed to be enough. And I had a lot of, now I can look back, I had a lot of negative thinking about the whole abundance thing. And so, doing the UA group, it just happened quicker for me with that way. I mean, there were times during, almost the past year that I kind of get in the weeds a little bit, or, I feel like, well, what is happening? But, if I was going to tell somebody who is starting this program, my most important piece of advice would be to allow it to be real. There's a lot of techniques and everything, but if you let it be real, oh my God, because it's truth that you talk about with the energy. So.
Right. So how did you make it be real for you, or how did you make it be embodied or part of your daily life?
Well, I stumbled a little bit, but then I figured out doing the what would it takes, and doing those 20 or 30 times a day, and I was like, oh, how do I do this right? Do I do them all at one time? Do I spread them out through the day? And so I experimented with that and just said kind of chill and go with the flow. And then one of the special offers had been that you got a reduced fee to have a session with Cindy. Every month you have a special offer. And so I did that, and she gave me some what would it takes that I used constantly for 3 months. And at one point, my business, I was just frustrated with it. So I just went on this what would it take marathon. And I walked and walked and walked. I got to 10,000 steps. Okay. Just doing the what would it takes.
And then I tried exercise and your what would it takes together.
But then I got a phone call right after that was over, and I'm thinking it's a telemarketer, but it's somebody who was able to help me with the website to get everything, out there. So it's the right address, the right phone number, and the right, mobile friendly app, which has been great. That was a wonderful thing.
Well, it helps your business, right?
Yeah. I guess one of the things I noticed kind of halfway through, I would have some money wins, and then I'd kind of have some other things that would come up, and that was good because then I could clear it out. But I was feeling, there were some money issues. But I felt different. I felt a certain detachment from it. It didn't freak me out. I didn't feel really desperate because I had things I could do. Okay, this is energy. Christie's taught me how I can do this. And, so I would delete, clear, transmute, destroy, all that. And that's just how I talk. I was at, just a little aside, I was at, a grocery store the other day, and the checkout cashier was telling me, how she had just been kicked out of her house, and it was really hard, and she was struggling with bills. And I said, let's just delete, clear, and transmute that, and let's think about what would it take to, to be successful and to be able to live on your own. And I'm like, what? Where did that come from? But it's become part of how I look at the world and how I interact.
Right. And so, and for people listening, they have to know, the whole point is we make this a 12-month journey because everyone's going to have their moment in a different month, right? So I've had people have their moment in the last month, right? I've had people have their moment where something really profound shifts in their first month, and this is why we tell inspiring stories along the way, is because we want people to really get that you're wired how you're wired. Your abundance is imprinted a certain way. And the reason we want to do the whole 12-month journey is so that we can help you uncover it along the way and give you tools. So month 1 might be amazing, and month 2 might be oh my gosh, what is this block, right?
Yeah.
Month 3 is oh my God, I had some cool wins here. Month 4 is oh my gosh, another block I hit, and so you never really know. So I wanted to kind of clarify that for people who are listening, because they don't understand the reason why we do the 12 months maybe is really because you don't know which month is going to be your month where everything just kind of lifts and shifts and whatever it is.
Well, I'm having my month right now. Let me tell you that, because the May group clearing thing was telling the truth. It was about truth, and I wanted to really avoid it, but I finally did it, and I did not feel good afterwards, and which is unusual for me. And I went into this, things just weren't going my way, and actually it was last month on my birthday, and my one company that I was doing, I was at a point where I'm I think I might have to close this whole thing down. I don't want to do that. It didn't feel good. And so I went on the Facebook page, and I kind of wrote that I was in not a great space. And I went out and just sat in this nature center in a prairie and just saying, what vibrational energy can I be to feel better, and just softly, not demanding of the universe, but just, softly saying that to myself. And I started to feel really a lot better. And then a turkey crossed my path, which is always, it's a sign of abundance for me. So I'm okay, all right, so this is all going to work out, So after that, I went and I was just looking online for a job. I haven't worked full-time in a year and a half. Which blew my mind that I could stay home and still get money. That was a whole other thing. But I looked, I decided I'll look and see what jobs are out there. And I live in a small town, And there was one saying, MSW, I'm a social worker, MSW needed in this little town 6 miles away, which usually I'd have to drive a mile or whatever, or an hour. So I applied for it, and the next day they called me, and then next day I interviewed, and then the next day they hired me.
Oh,
and
wow.
What is so great about this is, I mean, I'm getting paid more money than I've ever been paid in my life for a job.
Wow.
Well, I know. I'm 57 years old. So, sometimes people think that you kind of reach a peak, but not yet. And they actually, I asked for a number that was more than I've gotten paid. They came back with, they offered me more money than what I asked for. And I think I start on Monday. So it's really a game changer for me because I'll be able to pay off my debt. I'll be able to do lots of fun things that I wanted to do. And I really feel like I'm going to get paid for being me. Kind of one of my what it takes this week has been, what would it take to feel really relaxed at work? Because I've had really stressful jobs in the past. And then what would it take to feel really energized when I got home? Because sometimes, when I worked really hard before, I'd be like, really tired when I got home. So I don't want to work hard, but I'm going to put my best in there. But I'm going to feel different. And then I think things open up for me.
Yeah. Like doing your job from a high vibrational place. I love that.
Yeah. And just to let you know, my business, I was worried about closing, and I had a talk with one of the other business people. Usually one of my things I used to do is I would keep money very secret and hidden and not be open. But I talked to the people in my company, and he was so supportive. And he's like, let's just give this another try, and I think we can do it. And then, I started getting great orders. So, and that really shows you that it was my block that was ready to be released because so everything opened up. Right.
That's so cool. Congratulations. I feel so happy for you.
Another thing I just want to mention that I really love about that I've learned over the past year is, like, sometimes if my husband and I, if there was an argument about something, or he would, say something I really didn't like, one of the things that you talk about is, I just kind of would envision this light, coming down on him, and, just, okay, that's his thing. And it would really, in the matter of probably 2 minutes, he would be talking completely differently. And so I just wanted to feel, and if something's going on with one of my daughters, we have the blessing balls that we can send. And, there's just something in that's real for me, that then they get better. It's not usually I would have gone down a very nervous, anxious road and, ended up in the weeds.
Yeah, no, so it's cool. So I hear what you're saying. You're really saying that not only do the tools work for abundance, but you're seeing change in other parts of your life and how you handle things and how you react or don't react. And I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, creates happier families.
Yes. So.
All right, so thank you so much for sharing with us. And again, any other if somebody's again on the fence, what would you tell them to do?
I would tell them if their goal is to live an abundant life, in all ways, that I really have experienced that this UA program has been a life changer and a game changer. And I've gotten more money back than what I put in. And, if you're concerned about that, but it's really set me on a trajectory to more abundance than I really believe I could have had before.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.